Well, Laura Trant is at Heathrow for us now. How's it looking there now, Laura?
Well, this is usually one of the busiest days of the year for flights at the UK's biggest and busiest airport. There have been some flights taking off and landing behind me here at Heathrow Airport, but nowhere near as many as usual. Usually we're talking one every 45 seconds. And it's going to take some time, as we just heard, for things to get back to normal, because it's a logistical challenge, massively so, because we've got pilots, we've got aircraft and crews, not all in the right place at the right time, so things can't just go back to normal straight away. Heathrow Airport has said that there is still a huge amount of disruption. They're asking passengers not to come here to Heathrow Airport unless they know their flight is operating. That's being echoed by British Airways. They're saying that any passengers who are supposed to be on short-haul flights this evening to please not come to the airport unless they know for sure that their flight is operating. There is lots more information for people on the BBC website, particularly stuff about consumer rights in terms of people who have had their flights cancelled or delayed. Plenty more information on this story for them there. But from Heathrow, back to you.
OK, Laura, thanks for that. Laura Trant reporting for us there.
Hello, I'm Laura Trant. Welcome to South Today. In tonight's programme, chaos for commuters. Passengers told to avoid Waterloo until Thursday after a derailment. Risking their lives, the drivers, including this bus, caught on camera running red lights at a level crossing. Its final mission, we speak to an expert about the Cassini spacecraft's close-ups of Saturn. And never too young for a coffee morning, never too old to play. The Intergenerational Day Centre.
It made me feel young again, and kids love it.
Today, rail passengers learnt that fares next year are going up by 3.5%, but a more immediate concern for many was how to get to work amid chaos at Waterloo. Things were already difficult because of a major refurbishment taking place at the London station, when a shunt between two trains meant half the platforms were out of use. Let's join Joe Campbell live at Waterloo. Police responded to reports that shots had been fired from a moving vehicle, which was then driven away. London Ambulance Service and the air ambulance were also called to the scene. There is a significant police presence here tonight. An investigation is underway and police are appealing for any information. Laura Trant, BBC News.
With me now is our correspondent Laura Trant. Laura, what more can you tell us?
Well, this update to the online safety bill means that the encouragement of self-harm online is to be criminalised, ultimately with a prison sentence or a fine. So companies who do not remove illegal content could face a fine, and those who commit the offences could face the criminal courts. Now, the government will set out more detail about the maximum prison sentences and fines in due course. But you mentioned the case of Molly Russell, the 14-year-old from Harrow in London who died aged 17. She took her own life after viewing content about self-harm and suicide on social media. Her family have tirelessly campaigned to improve online safety. They've responded to this update to the bill by saying, yes, it is significant, but there is a huge grey area. As always, the devil is in the detail. And they worry it doesn't go far enough because they say that the harmful but legal content is what did the most damage to Molly's mental health. And that they say there hopefully will be no more delays to this process for the sake of other young people.
Laura, thank you.
Britain's bulging waistlines, especially amongst the young, led to the so-called sugar tax being proposed in the budget. Here we have two very different types of drink, a hot chocolate there from a well-known coffee chain and a can of fizzy drink. Both of them have about the same amount of sugar, that's around 35 grams, which is the same as about 8 teaspoons of sugar. But the way the sugar tax will be applied means that this will go up by about 8 pence per can, and this will stay the same. Here in St James's Park in London, people have been enjoying the sunshine, and it's right here where the Met Office recorded its highest UK temperature of 30.1 degrees Celsius. And in Scotland, they had their hottest temperature of the year so far at 29.3 degrees in Lucas in Fife. The warmest day of the year so far for Northern Ireland too, where they reached 24.3 degrees in Derrylin in Fermanagh. And in Wales, in Usk in Monmouthshire, the temperature there was recorded at 27.9 degrees Celsius. And hitting the high notes, we meet Rosie, the harpist hailed as a child prodigy. Evidence provided by a self-styled paedophile hunter from Southampton has been used 3 times in court this year to secure convictions. Hunters pose as children online, wait to be groomed, film their meetings with predators and call the police out to their sting to make an arrest.
Well, our reporter Laura Trant is at the London Wetland Centre with some samples. Is there a knotweed creeping up behind you? Morning, Laura.
It's creeping up my leg as we speak, Bill. Yes, take a look here. This is the Japanese knotweed. It looks pretty innocent, doesn't it? But it's not. It's really destructive, as are these zebra mussels. They're really small, but when they all group together, they cause serious problems. They are just 2 of the examples of some of the things that people might not be able to grow, to own, to move around the country after the European Parliament votes on a bill that's being drawn up to list some of these unwelcome visitors. Our environment correspondent Claire Marshall has been to Cambridgeshire to find out more.
Fire crews remain at Eastbourne Pier this morning after much of it was destroyed by a huge blaze yesterday.
Well, it's believed to have started as a result of an electrical fault. Our reporter Laura Trant is there for us now, and it looks pretty devastated behind you, Laura.
Oh yes, good morning to you. It really is. It's a sad state this morning. You can see the contrast of the bright blue sky coming through the bare bones, the very skeleton of the structure. Yesterday, about 80 firefighters were working really hard to try and contain the blaze and try and save as much of Eastbourne Pier as they could. But as you can see, the front of the pier has been completely decimated. There was an amusement arcade there and cafes. That's been completely gutted. But the other end of the pier, where there's a wedding venue and there's a nightclub, is still intact, but of course nobody can get to it. What I've been told today by the fire service is overnight and this morning as well, what they're trying to do is dampen down hot spots that are still smouldering. This is a reminder of the vulnerability of our Victorian piers that dot along our coastline. Over the last 11 years, there have been fires in Brighton, in Southend and in Weston-super-Mare as well, but this was regarded as the very finest of all the piers.
Laura Trant has been at the show all day. Let's join her now. What's all the chatter about this year then? Oh, and I see you've got some friends.
Well, I have, and right now they're enjoying a bit of food. I'm joined by 2 Albion cattle. They are really rare breeds, only 150 of the breeding females in the world. Gorgeous, aren't they? Well, today, as you know, the first day of the New Forest show, so thousands of families have been enjoying the glorious weather. Livestock has been, here you go, on parade, and local produce has been enjoyed. But that's against a backdrop of uncertainty in the farming community. Issues like Brexit, supermarket prices are weighing heavily on the shoulders of farmers I've been speaking to. Right, come on. Are you ready for me to be your passenger?
Are you ready? That's the question. But no, it's going to be great fun. You'll enjoy it.